Prior to the cost of living crisis, where you saved your money and how much interest you got paid really didn't make much of a difference because interest effectively was 0.1%, basically zero. However, now, because the Bank of England have kept interest rates at around 5%, it's becoming more and more important to look at where your money's going. So in today's video, I want to run through how I save, what accounts I use, and how I make sure that I don't fall foul of having to pay tax on the interest I earn. Let's go. So to start with, I have around £15,000 saved up over various accounts, and how I save this and in what type of account really does make a difference as to whether I do pay tax or whether, like in the scenario that I'm about to show you, I actually avoid having to pay any tax on my money. So to start with, I have £5,000 sat in an instant access high interest saver at 5.12%. At that 5.12%, this earns me £256 per year in interest. Outside of this, the interest rate drops to about 1% on anything over the £5,000. So I make sure that on a monthly basis, every time I have interest added to this account, I'm moving it, along with my other savings, into the next account I'm about to show you. My next account is another instant access saver, so not an ISA. This is a lower interest rate at 3.5%, and in this account I keep £6,960. This then yields me £244 per year in interest. Now, you will note that I keep £11,960 in these instant access savers that sit outside of my ISA, and there's a very good reason for this. Because of the amount I earn, being over £50,270 per year, I sit within the higher range for tax. At this higher rate, I am only allowed to earn up to £500 in savings interest before having to pay tax on the interest I earn on my savings. I think that particularly now, there are going to be a lot of people out there that will fall foul of this and may not realise that they have to do a self-assessment in order to pay over the tax to HMRC. So for me, it's just easier to ensure that I am always below this threshold or on it so that I don't have to pay tax on my savings interest. This then brings me on to my third account, which is an instant access ISA. So any money over and above what I have in those accounts, this includes savings that I put away each month, as well as any interest payments that then take me over the threshold on these accounts, go into an ISA. This ISA for me at the moment has £3,640 in it. This is at 4.4%. So at 4.4%, I'm earning around £160 per year on this amount. However, as I've mentioned, this does creep up throughout the year, so my actual end of year amount will probably be more because the balance will go up. So this is how my savings overall is broken down. You'll see that of the £15,600 I have saved, £11,960 is outside of an ISA, with the remaining £3,640 being sat within an ISA, so therefore shielding it from that tax. And because the original £11,960 only yields me £500 per year in interest, I don't have to pay tax on that amount as well. So overall, I get around £660 of savings interest per year. Not a bad amount. To be honest, it doesn't quite keep up with inflation, but it's always good to make sure that you're maximising as much as you can the interest you're getting on your savings, so at least it's not being eroded as quickly. For those of you that have watched my first few videos, you'll see that actually I do save quite a lot more than this per year, around £10,000. So you may be wondering where the other amount is going. And this then brings me on to my final point, which is that outside of this amount that I've got saved, which is effectively around a year and a half's worth of living expenses saved, so I've got that safety net. Everything outside of that, I invest it as aggressively as I can in things that I believe will build me wealth quicker than leaving it in a savings account will. But to see what I invest in, I will save that for another video. For now, I just want you to focus on the savings. I also want to point out, for those of you that earn under £50,270, your allowance for what you can save goes from £500 in interest up to £1,000. So it's always worth checking where you fall in that banding. I don't want you to have to maybe think about moving things out of a higher interest instant access account and into an ISA when you could earn more interest if you are able to leave it in the higher interest accounts. So always make sure you look at your own personal circumstance for this. Similarly, if you are earning above the additional rate threshold, it falls to £0. In 2024, this is £125,140, so maybe not something you have to worry about immediately. And to be fair, for those of you that are running this, first of all, congratulations. And you probably are aware of how to move your money around being on that salary. And that's it. A really quick video just summarising how I save my money, how I avoid having to pay tax on the interest I earn, and how I maximise each and every account, looking at it on a monthly basis, moving the money into different accounts so that I avoid hitting that limit, and then anything outside of that, like I've mentioned, I make sure that I invest it in other items. As always, I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Please consider giving me a like and a subscribe if you enjoy the content, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.